I would love to know where you are on this journey. Do you have diabetes? Do you have type 1 diabetes? Do you have type 2 diabetes? What is it that you personally have experienced? And what is it that you are hoping to get out of this call today? If it is simply just learning some additional information on type 2 diabetes, that is great. Because one thing that is so super important for all females on your wellness journey and for your hormones is to learn how to manage your blood sugar regulation. So managing blood sugar and stopping the highs and the lows, we can get in this roller coaster mechanism on blood sugar, and it can just be very daunting to our health. It deplenishes our energy because your body shuts down when you are not being taken care of and when your body is not stable. So let me introduce myself real quick and give you, just tell you, I'm super excited to have you here. My name is Jennifer, and I am a functional nutrition. I'm certified in functional nutrition, functional blood work, and also neurotoxicity practitioner. So I look at what are the toxins in your body? How can we detox? I look at what sensitivities do you have in your body that are causing inflammation, and what sensitivities are holding you back. And then I'll also look at nutrient deficiencies. And a lot of times that's minerals. And I'm going to talk a lot about minerals and hormones and food in today's call. So you're going to hear all of these things over for me. And I know some of you are here because you're like newly diagnosed and you're scared. And I want to tell you that that's okay. We're here all to help one another. And diabetes is something that's extremely emotional because you feel like it is something that you're going to live with forever. And I do want to tell you a little bit about my background with that, because my brother was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in his early 20s, right after his college experience and just more alcohol than his body could handle. His body quickly converted from being a little bit more hypoglycemia to being type 2 diabetic. And when I entered those college years, I'll tell you that I knew that my body could very easily be headed in that same direction. If I went and I had a part-time job, and on that part-time job, one day I was standing in a cubicle overlooking a person that was training me. And I just hit the floor and passed out and fainted right there, was put on a stretcher, woke up in the ER. Number one, humiliated and embarrassed. And number two, just knew that I needed to change something. But number three, inside, I knew that I had had an alcoholic beverage that night before. So I also saw that trend. And I grew up in my daughter's extremely hypoglycemic is what they would. And one thing that I want to say is I really feel like that alone is a BS diagnosis, because I will tell you that as long as our family properly focuses on our sensitivities, and one of those is gluten, then we do not have any of those symptoms. And therefore, it has been extremely important for us to know what those inflammatory sensitivities are, because I can see every bit of the fear become empowerment when I know what's causing this and when I know how to take care of it. But I do know in the beginning it's very scary, it's very confusing, and honestly, you just get very tired of feeling like your body's working against you and you can't keep up. One thing I will say with gluten, though, is when you remove gluten, you've also got to pay attention to those gluten-free processed carbohydrates and those gluten-free processed foods, because so many people know that gluten-free trend is there. And our food industry has come in and started making all these substitutes. But I also know that some of those flours that are used for those substitutes don't respond in the same way. So that education can be so empowering. And type 2 diabetes is something that I truly feel from scientific research, from evidence, that it's where your body is waving a red flag and saying, hey, I'm overwhelmed and I need help. And people ask me a lot of times, do you really feel that autoimmune conditions can be reversed? And maybe that's, maybe you're not going to heal your autoimmune condition and it's not going to go away forever. But I really do feel like you can go into remission and somewhat reverse your symptoms. You're always going to be prone to an autoimmune condition. And type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition, and we will talk about that as well. But being prone to the red flags that overwhelm your body and doom and gloom you to the point that you get a diagnosis, if you continue to live that way, you're going to go back and get that diagnosis. Okay. And when people ask me about autoimmune conditions, a lot of times I stop and I say, hey, If cancer can go into remission, and some people have it come back and some people don't, then your autoimmune condition can go into remission as well. Okay, that autoimmune condition is not there to daunt you and haunt you and leave you feeling hopeless. You're here to get clarity, and you're here to get tools so we can overcome these symptoms and you can live freely. And that is truly what I hope for you, and truly what I believe can happen in each and every one of your situations. So my mission is to work with families. My mission is to work with teens, athletes, adults, and teach you how your everyday lifestyle factors, and more importantly, how you put 3 meals in your mouth a day, can hurt and harm your outcome, but it can also help you overcome anything that you're dealing with. Okay, because it's very healing, and food is healing. And when I had to specialize in my functional nutrition program, I went and I specialized in gut health, because I had fought my hormones, and I had fought my thyroid conditions, and I had fought my son's mast cell activation disorder, and I had fought my mom's cancer. And the only thing that I saw consistent through every situation was that food was healing or hurting our success. Okay, so what you're putting in your body has to absorb, and your gut has to be able to convert your hormones and heal your body. Okay, so soapbox moment is over, but I really want you to feel like you have power and hope. So one thing that I do want you to know is I have sent you a guide, and I'm sorry, that guide is, Mastering Diabetes Guide. So if you have not gotten that guide, it's called Mastering Diabetes Guide. If you haven't gotten that, comment guide below so myself or my team can get that to you right away.